Not to worry, not to worry. Still got glitches. I forgot to clear my caches. It's approximately 9:27 on Friday, the 12th of April, 2024. How the devil are you? The sun is shining. The eclipse is over. The black sun is nowhere to be seen. Yeah, that's something I'd like to discuss with you. What on earth happened on that eclipse? Because a lot of people, I mean, it's just as much Ferrari. I don't know why I'm talking about Formula One cars when I'm talking about Ferrari. But you know, I've got problems with my words. There's just as much Ferrari going on about the eclipse with the black sun and all that jazz than Kate Middleton. You know what I mean? It's just like that. It's just like that. It was just like that. Well, anyway, my name is Matt Taylor. Today, I identify as Tommy Cooper. I went to the paper shop the other day. It's blown away. I went to buy some camouflage trousers the other day, but I couldn't find any. I brought some HP sauce the other day. It's costing me £6 a month for the next 2 years. Just like that, just like that. Last night, funny enough, I dreamed I ate a £10 marshmallow. When I woke up, my pillow was gone. And I felt rather constipated, to be fair. Police arrested 2 kids yesterday. One was drinking battery acid. The other was eating fireworks. They charged one and let the other one off. It was just like that. It was just like that. 2 fish in a tank. One says to the other, "You drive, I'll man the guns." Just like that. Just like that. Oh, it looks like nobody really particularly enjoys my jokes. Well, you know, there you go. Anyway, of course, the big news of the day. The big news is that Chris Spivey is back. Or is it pronounced Chris Spivey? One or the other. I never can tell. But Chris Spivey, the man who started me on the road of self-discovery. Now, I'm pretty excited to see Chris Spivey getting back into the groove. It was the Monster Inc. One of his articles on chrisspivey.co.uk. Monster Inc. it was. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely loved it. So Chris Spivey, I think he was in, let me get all the names right. He was in conversation with a guy called Mark Littlewood, maybe. I don't know, actually. I don't know. Let me see. I'd love to have him on the show. Whether he would is another thing altogether. You know what I mean? It's another thing altogether. I doubt if he would. I've definitely burnt my bridges with Chris Spivey, or is it Spivey? One or the other. But anyway, I've forgotten who he was on with. I think it was Mark. Is it Mark Littlewood? Something like that. Never can quite tell. But yeah, if you ever get a chance. Yes, so it was with, here we go, 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 here we go. Mark Atwood. I'm not talking about Sean Atwood, I'm talking about Mark Atwood. I don't know whether there's I don't know whether they're brothers, Sean Atwood, Mark Atwood, but if you haven't done so already, check out Chris Spivey, or is it Spivey, on Mark Atwood. For me personally, Chris Spivey is one of, if not the best researcher out there. What I like about Chris Spivey, and he'll say this himself, is that he has to get it right. Because if he doesn't get it right, he knows very well he'll be ripped apart. as if a Christian walked into a lion's den. You know what I mean? So, yeah, really excited to see Chris Bivvy back on the scene. He's had a few years out. And he got battered. He got battered for having his experience on the Truth Movement. Of course, he's under strict court orders not to discuss the Lee Rigby case. And this was an article he did about the drummer man. A very seminal article written about the Lee Rigby case. He cannot talk about it, but I certainly can. Suffice to say that he was found guilty of a hideous crime against the Rigby family. Of course, we live in a day and age in which no one is allowed their own opinions, but yet certain people are. If your opinion tallies with the national and official narrative, you're fine, you're ready to go. But of course, if your opinion doesn't, you are in the shit. Over to the chat room. A viewer. Well, good morning, Matt, says A viewer. Good morning, A viewer. Friend or foe? I don't know, really. I've seen you in the mouses having a bit of a dig. Hey, but listen, when is having a bit of a dig against the law? But it's certainly frowned upon, isn't it? Don't you think? It's certainly frowned upon on YouTube. It's not the done thing to have a dig, unless you're part of that crew. If you're part of that crew, go ahead and have a dig as much as you want. You can have more than a dig. You can have a right punch in. You know what I mean? I get about, says A viewer. Oh, don't we do, mate? Well, don't we all? As I always say to my audience, don't be shy. Jump on in and say hi, just like A viewer has just done. My name is Matt Taylor. I'm the host of Matt Taylor TV, broadcasting live from Brighton, simultaneously on YouTube and Twitter. A viewer says, it's good to watch varied content, and that is a good bit of advice. I love that good bit of advice. I love it so much, I'm going to put it up on my screen. But then again, that's a bit unusual, isn't it? I am a bit unusual. And I've got a lot to say. Not only am I a bit unusual, I have a lot to say. I'm all mouth. Remember that, I'm all mouth. And I don't mind that. But don't go around calling me a stalker. That's not nice. If that's not true, don't go around calling me a nonce, because that's not nice. That's not true. I'll be the first one to put my hand up. If I'm described correctly, I'm all mouth. That's true. I'm a bit unusual. That's true. I'll put my hand up to it. Yes. Guilty as charged. Don't go around calling me things I'm not. Because that's not nice. That's not the done thing. That's not cricket. I don't like talking about the N word. Yes, nobody does. And it's a lot worse when you called it. So let's move on from that. But I just wanted to get that out, you know what I mean? Yes. So, what on earth is going on with this eclipse? It's as bad as Kate Middleton, isn't it? No one's believing it. No one is believing in the astronomical event of the lifetime. They're saying that wasn't the moon. They're saying we couldn't see the moon approaching. We couldn't see the moon exiting. And then they also pointed out at some point the moon stops. It's on a slow trajectory in which it moves at a regular speed, goes over the sun, stops, then starts moving. And to be fair, it just doesn't look right. It just don't look right. It reminds me of 9/11. It's sometimes when you look at things, it just don't look right. You know what I mean? It just don't look right. Like Kate Middleton coming out of the farmer's shop. It don't look right. Kate Middleton sitting on the bench telling us that she's got cancer. It don't look right. Things don't look right. And as humans, something goes in your head. Nah, my gut's instinct is telling me something different. That don't look right. But then we've got people on TV going, no, that is right. And if you don't think that is right, you are the problem. You need psychological help. We're going to label you as unusual. We're going to label you as a weirdo. Is it fair? Who gives a flying fuck whether it's fair? We're living in 21st century Britain. When has fair got anything to do with life? I laugh because that's the state of the affairs. There is no fairness in our day and age. And if anyone out there is expecting fairness, you are going to be sadly disappointed. Maybe there are some stratas, subcultures of life in which fairness is a daily occurrence. But not with the likes of you and I. Okay, let's not bring you into it. Certainly not with the likes of I, me, myself. Ultimately, that's the only person we can talk about, isn't it? I, me, myself. And our own experiences. And how we see the world. Big shout out to everyone who's joining. My name is Matt Taylor, broadcasting live from Brighton, simultaneously on YouTube and Twitter. As I always say to my audience, don't be shy, say hi. You got there before me, A viewer. Well done, mate. Oh, I've got a friend request. I've been welcomed to Keep Britain Weird. Isn't that fantastic? And ultimately, Brighton is the best place to live when you're weird. Funny enough, just talking about it, and I got a friend request. It reminds me of the time when a guy walks into a pub with a lump of asphalt on his shoulder. He says to the barman, give us a pint and one for the road. Just like that. I went to the doctors the other day and said, have you got anything for wind? So he gave me a kite. Just like that, just like that. I went to the doctors the other day and he said to me, go to Bournemouth. It's great for flu. So I went and got it. It was just like that, it was. I cleaned the attic with the wife the other day. Now I can't get the cobwebs out of my hair. Oh, sorry, I got that wrong. Just like that, just like that. I cleaned the attic with the wife the other day. And now I can't get the cobwebs out of her hair. Just like that, just like that. A doctor, a woman told the doctor, I've got a backache. No, she didn't even say that. A woman told the doctor, I've got a bad back. The doctor said, it's old age. The woman said, I want a second opinion. The doctor says, okay, you're ugly as well. Just like that it was. It was just like that. Just like that, just like that. So, a viewer got there before me. What I was going to say was don't be shy. Jump on in and say hi. Be brave and take the plunge onto Matt Taylor TV. I may be unusual. I may be all mouth, but I'm certainly not what you hear about me on YouTube. And to be fair, not that fairness is quality that's going around in life today. I do take offense to being called anything else other than unusual. and all mouth. There was something last night I meant to talk about. It happened last night on YouTube. But for the life of me, I don't know what it is. I've forgotten. And often when things like that happen, it's irrelevant, isn't it? Something irrelevant last night happened. For the life of me, I cannot remember. But it was worthy of talking about. That's why I went to bed. I said, I'll mention that in the morning. Woke up in the morning. Can't fucking remember anything. Just like that it was. It reminds me of a YouTuber who started a YouTube, and he published his email address. So he's got a YouTube, right? And he goes, right, I'm going to be a YouTuber. I put out my email address to be contacted. As a YouTuber, I've got to appeal to my audience. So what I'll do as a YouTuber, I'll put my email address out there so my audience can contact me. Give me some feedback. Give me some ideas. Give me some love. Give me some hate, whatever. I'll put my email out there. Next thing, he only fucking gets an email, doesn't he? He's like, what is this shit? I'm closing this down straight away. Just like that it was, just like that. He goes, I'll put my email address out there. I'll put my email address out there, here for my audience. Next day, he gets an email from the audience. He goes, what the fuck's that? Fucking, I'm closing down my email. Just like that it was, just like that. And just like that, Skips appears. Hello, Skips. Skips is a bit too confused to say anything. So he goes, he lets us know he's watching. And the best way to let someone know you're watching is with a pair of eyes and a banoffee pie, I believe. Oh, it's changed from banoffee pie to a pie. Eye pie. Good to see you, Skips. Good to see you. So, of course, the big news of the day is Chris Bivvy. Or is it Spivey? One or the other. Chris Bivvy is back on the scene. So if you haven't done so already, check out ChristopherSpivvy.co.uk. Or it could be ChristopherSpivvy.org. One or the other. Either way, it is... I'm a big fan. Oh, so it's ChristopherSpivvy.co.uk, yeah. Check out ChristopherSpivvy.co.uk. I personally think he's an absolute champ. He's an absolute champ, and I'm very excited that Chris Bivvy is back on the scene, because you can guarantee you're going to get tip-top articles written by Chris Bivvy. And in this day and age, it's only right and proper to give credit where credit's due. And I want to be the first to stand up in the queue and say, Chris Bivvy deserves credit for his masterfully crafted articles. He don't use AI like I do. No, he's not a lazy fat piggy like me who gets AI to do all his work for him. No way. Chris Bivvy will write his articles from scratch using his own research. And what I like about him, he was on an interview with Mark Atwood. No relation to Sean Atwood. I don't know for sure. But he's been recently on an interview with Mark Atwood, in which he reveals himself that he makes sure his articles are researched to the highest degree, because he's more aware than anyone that if he gets facts wrong, he will be crucified. He will be jumped upon. And that's why I get so much satisfaction and enjoyment from reading the Chris Bivvy article. Or is it Spivey? One or the other. In fact, and this is true, what I'm about to tell you is from my heart to yours. It's one of my truths. Chris Bivvy is the reason I started. I'm tongue-tied. I'm so excited to get it out. Chris Bivvy is the reason I entered into this truth movement community. Because what he wrote about the royal family on Monsters Inc. shocked me. It shocked me to the core. I was like, how on earth can somebody say this in public? It ain't right. If what he's saying isn't true, surely this man should be locked up for libel, for slander, for malicious communications. And I had to dig deeper. I had to ask myself, how can this man get away by saying this stuff? Either it's complete lies or it's the truth. People shouldn't be allowed to write this stuff about other people. That's what I thought about it. I said, no, this ain't right. People like this shouldn't be allowed to write this stuff about other people if it's not true. And that's why I got involved. It was like, wow, there's this kind of information being put out about the leading family in the UK. How can it possibly be true? Crazy. And of course, I became a fan ever since. And the good news is that Chris Spivey is back. And it is all about good and evil now. Just like to let you know that my magical imaginary girlfriend may well be ringing in at any moment. So I will have to leave the show just to have a little chat with her. It may be best just to shut the show down, actually, because I won't tell you too much because it's private and confidential. But my magical imaginary girlfriend had a lovely day yesterday. She had a wonderful day. Something happened to her that hasn't happened before. And I'm eager to hear all about it. And she's promised to tell me. So, I just want to put that out there. My magical imaginary girlfriend may be ringing me at any moment. If that's the case, I may well shut the show down. Come back another time. But the good news of the day is that it's sun shining. And I love it when the sun shines. I'm out seeing my daughter later on for lunch. Something I'm very much looking forward to. I haven't seen her in about 3 weeks. And of course, I endeavour to see my daughter as much as possible now, especially as she's going away to university in September. Comes around fast. She's a young adult now. Got her own life to lead. And then, of course, once she starts university, she's going off to another country for a year. Shocking. It's bloody shocking. But it reminds me when I told my mother that I was off abroad, I didn't give a flying fuck what she thought about it. Now I know, from a parent's point of view, what it feels like. You know, when your daughter comes up and says, oh yeah, by the way, I'm off to the other side of the world in a year's time. So I cherish every moment I get. So I'm off, out and about. My girlfriend may be ringing at any moment. I'm sure there was something I meant to mention from last night, but it just I've forgotten it. Something was said last night, but for the life of me, I cannot recall what it was. So evidently it must be irrelevant, no doubt, you know. Reminds me of when a man walked in the doctor's. The doctor said, I haven't seen you in a long time. Man replied, I know, I've been ill. And just like that. A man walked in the doctor and said, I've hurt my arm in several places. The doctor said, well, don't go there anymore. Just like that. So I knocked on the door at this B&B breakfast. And a lady stuck her head out the window and said, what do you want? I said, I want to stay here. The lady said, well, stay there. She shut the window. Just like that. It was just like that. I'm on a whiskey diet. I've lost 3 days already. Just like that, just like that. A man walked into the bar. He went, ouch. It was an iron bar. Yes, my jokes aren't going down too well, are they? Just like that, just like that. It was just like that. But I do love a bit of Tommy Cooper. He's one of my favourite comedians growing up. I love the joke about the Irish air disaster. A two-seat Cessna, a two-seated Cessna crashes into a graveyard. So far, Irish, whatever you call them, rescuers, the Irish rescuers have pulled out 1,826 bodies. More bodies are set to be recovered overnight. Now, the funny thing is, I've got a mate, Tony, with an I. He's Irish. And I'm dying to tell him the joke. But I daren't tell him the joke because he's Irish. I don't know how he'll react. Hey, Tony, you're Irish. Did you hear about the Irish air disaster? No, what's all that about, Matt? Oh, yeah, a two-seat Cessna even. A two-seated Cessna has crashed into a graveyard. Tony will go, oh, really? I haven't heard about that. He goes, and I'll go, yeah. So far, 1,826 bodies have been recovered. They expect to recover more overnight. I just don't know how he will react to it, really. I don't know how he would react to it. So I'm a bit scared to tell him that joke. So I haven't told him. I've kept it to myself, you know. I've kept it to myself. But I had a meal last night and I ordered everything in French. Surprised everyone. It was a Chinese restaurant. Just like that. I said to this Chinese waiter, look, this chicken I got is cold. He said it should be. It's been dead for 2 weeks. Just like that. Just like that. I said, not only that, I said it twice, you know. I said 3 times. He's got one leg shorter than the other. He said, what do you want to do with it? Eat it or dance with it? Just like that. It was just like that. I said, forget the chicken. Give me a lobster. And he brought me this lobster. I said, just a minute. He's only got one claw. He said, well, he's been in a fight. And I said, well, give me the winner. Just like that. It was just like that. So I was getting into my car and this bloke said to me, can you give me a lift? I said, sure. You look great. The world's your oyster. Go for it. Just like that. It was just like that. 2 fat blokes in a pub. One says to the other, you're round. The other one says, so are you, you fat bastard. Just like that. It was just like that. Police arrested 2 kids yesterday. One was drinking battery acid. The other was eating fireworks. They charged one and let the other one off. Just like that. It was just like that. You'd know someone actually complimented me on my driving today. They left a little note on the windscreen. It said parking fine. So that was nice. Just like that. It was just like that. Wow, you're a tough crowd today, mate. You're a tough crowd. But listen, just remember, I had a ploughman's lunch the other day. He wasn't very happy. My dog was barking at everyone the other day. Still, what can you expect from a crossbreed? Just like that. Just like that. How do you get out of prison? Easy. You rub your hands together until they're sore. Then you saw to chop through the bars. I'll say that again for immediate effect. How do you get out of prison? It's easy. You rub your hands together until they're sore. Then you use the saw to chop through the bars. Just like that. Is just like that. I went to the doctors. He said, what appears to be the problem? I said, I keep having the same dream night after night. Beautiful women rushing towards me and I keep pushing them away. The doctor says, well, how can I help? I said, you can break my blimmin' arms. Just like that. It was just like that. So I said to this train driver, I said, I want to go to Paris. He said, Eurostar. I said, I've been on telly and I'm no James Dean. I got that wrong completely. Let's start again. I said to this train driver, I said, I want to go to Paris. He said, Eurostar. And I said, well, I've been on telly, but I'm no Dean Martin. I don't know where James Dean came from. Oh, tough crowd out there. Tough crowd out there. Did you hear about the YouTuber? He started a YouTube channel. He wanted to get some audience feedback. So he made an email account. He connected the email account with his YouTube. It's very easy. All you do, you write your email address on your YouTube information. You invite people to email in. It's a really good way to connect with the audience. Well, anyway, guess what happened? Somebody emailed in. Fucking hell. He was like, I'm getting rid of my email. I'm not having that shit. That reminds me of something last night. Something happened. I went to bed. I said to myself, I'll get up in the morning and I'll go live and I'll talk about it. For the life of me, I cannot remember what it is. Must be irrelevant. Must be irrelevant. But anyway, let's not talk about the elephants. So I said to the gym instructor, can you teach me to do the splits? He said, how flexible are you? I said, I can't make Tuesdays. Just like that, was just like that. But I'll tell you what I love doing more than anything. Trying to pack myself in a small suitcase. I can hardly contain myself. Just like that, was just like that. Now, you know those trick candles that you blow out and a couple of seconds later they come alight again? Well, the other day, there was a fire at the factory that makes them. Just like that, it was just like that. You see, I'm against hunting. In fact, I'm a hunt saboteur. I go out at night before and shoot the fox. The other day, I sent my girlfriend a huge pile of snow. I rang up and I said, do you get my drift? Just like that, it was just like that. So I went down to this local supermarket. I said, I want to make a complaint. This vinegar's got lumps in it. The shop manager said, those pickled onions, sir. Just like that, it was just like that. So listen, I went to the Chinese restaurant and this bloody duck came up to me with a red rose that says, quack, quack. Your eyes sparkle like diamonds. I said, waiter, I asked for a romantic duck. Get it? A romantic. I don't get it. It's just like that. It was just like that. So the other day, I rang up the British Telecom. I said, I want to report a nuisance caller. He said, not you again. Just like that. It was just like that. And I've got a friend who's fallen in love with 2 school bags. He's bisexual. Bisexual. Just like that. It was just like that. So I went into Tesco's and I saw this man and a woman wrapped in a barcode. I said, are you 2 an item? Just like that. Just like that. Oh, God. Look at that. My Tommy Cooper jokes have cleared the room. People are going, oh, I'm not listening to this Tommy Cooper crap. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. But listen, while the room is empty, I've got some great piece of information to tell you. Chris Bivvy's back on the scene. Yeah. If you haven't sorted out, or if you haven't not so much sorted out, if you haven't read any of Chris Bivvy's stuff before, I recommend you do so. He's an absolute tip-top, #1, best of the best researcher out there. So you can read all his articles at Christopher Spivey. That's spivey.co.uk. Christopher spelt in the same way most Christopher is spelt. That's CHRISTOPHER. That's Christopher Spivey, or is it Spivey? One or the other, but it's spelt spivey.co.uk. I'll put a link in the chat. It's absolutely tip-top. I love Chris Bivvy, and I'm so excited that he's back on the scene. He's recently been in an interview with Mark Atwood. No relation to Sean Atwood. I believe. A big hello to Ricky Fremont. Hello, Ricky Fremont. I hope you like Tommy Cooper jokes, Ricky. But then I thought to myself, my feet are killing me. I don't know what that's about. He said, I'm going to chop off the bottom of one of your trouser legs and put it in a library. I thought, that's a turn up for books. An airplane of spittle dived into the sea. There was no survivors. An airplane of spittle dived into the sea. There were no survivors. Oh, right. Isn't Tommy Cooper the most amazing? He is funny, isn't he, eh? He's funny. I do love a bit of Tommy Cooper. Other favourite comedians of the past were Benny Hill. I've actually done a little Benny Hill tribute. I've done a Benny Hill tribute. You can go and find that on my other social media platforms. You can find me around the place. I'm active on BitChute, Twitter, and Facebook. So if you haven't caught me here already, you can find me on a BitChute, Twitter, and Facebook. All the most popular social media platforms. Oh, looks like Ricky Fremont came in. He goes, I'll give Matt Taylor TV a go. I've heard he's quite unusual. Quite unusual to watch Matt Taylor TV. I've heard he's quite unusual. I'll go in and see what he's up to. In he comes. And, oh my goody gosh, he's telling us Tommy Cooper jokes. Ricky says, I had on my show talking, really? I tell you, do you know, that rings a bell about something. That rings a bell. So, I'm a bit confused. You have to tell me more, Ricky. Ricky, you have to tell me more. Oh, so Ricky, mate, Ricky, are you Life Hut? Are you easy? Are you happy go easy? Are you that guy who started a YouTube channel and invited your audience to come on, put your email address up, and then when somebody emailed you, you got rid of the email? Because if you are the same guy, I think you're a right plonker. But you know, in a nice sort of way. You know, I'm not being derogatory to you, Ricky. I just think it's a bit of a plonkerish thing to do. Oh, Ricky's gone. It's on my life. Oh, you're so right. I'm so chuffed. I'm so glad to finally meet you. Because, of course, I've seen that Ricky Fremont name banded out quite a bit. But you're actually Life Hut. Wow. So why do you feel as if I'm interested, Ricky? I'm generally interested. Why do you feel as if I'm interested in what happens on your channel when you've made it plainly clear to me that I'm not welcome on your channel? You made it plainly clear to me that if I send a politely worded email to you, you shut down your whole fucking email. So, quite frankly, Ricky, I think you're a bit of a mong. In fact, I lied a lot about you. Hey, mate, everyone lies about me. Join the fucking queue. Everyone lies about me. Join the gang of liars. You know what I mean? Oh, mate. Who is this? Who is this person you mentioned? I've got difficulty reading any name above 3 letters. Honestly, what are you lot like? What are you lot like? Oh my God. It reminds me when I backed a horse last week at 10-1. It came in at 4:15. Just like that it was. Just like that. I thought it was be a dead cert. I backed him last week at 10 to 1. He came in at 4:15. Because it's strange, isn't it? Isn't it? You've got to admit it's strange. When you stand in the middle of a library and you go, ah! And everyone just stares at you. But you do the same thing on an airplane and everyone joins in. Just like that. Oh, I went to the corner shop yesterday. I bought 4 corners. A man goes into a doctor's. The doctor says, go over to the window and stick your tongue out. The man says, why? The doctor says, I don't like my neighbours. Just like that. It was just like that. Now, most dentist chairs go up and down, don't they? The one I went to went back and forwards. I thought, this is unusual. And the dentist said to me, Mr. Cooper, get out of the filing cabinet. Just like that it was. Just like that. So, listen, Ricky Fremont. You are a bit of a mong, aren't you? You are a bit of a mong. Because I reckon you could be the man I was talking about who set up a YouTube channel and put out his email address out there to, you know, to hear from his audience. And then, lo and behold, you got a fucking email from one of your audience members and you go and shut down the email. You mong. You mong. Mongity mong mong mong. But to be fair, I don't think for a moment Ricky Fremont is easy from Life Hut. I want to put a hand on my heart now. I want to put a hand on my heart. And I want to apologise for any offence I may have just made towards Easy, the host of Life Hut. I don't actually think for a moment that Ricky Fremont in the chat at the moment is Easy from Life Hut. I don't. So I really don't know what you're on about. Are you going to restream last night's show? What? Why would I do that? Did something happen? Did something happen on Life Hut's show last night that I should be made aware of? No, please fill me in. Because I know there was something. I went to bed. I watched something last night. And I remember going to bed saying, I want to mention that in the morning. But I've woken up and I have no idea what that something was all about. So ultimately, it must be irrelevant. The one I did with Ooh and R. So who's Ooh and R? I have no idea who Ooh and R is. They must be irrelevant. I don't know what you're on about, mate. But I do know that you aren't Ricky. You aren't Easy, are you? No. No, you're not. You're a bit of a weirdo. Aren't you? Yes. Let's look at some beautiful women. Because there's nothing better in life than looking at beautiful women. It does bring down my blood temperature as well, actually. So, Ricky Fremont. They were bad-mouthing you, were they? What a shocker. What a shocker. Someone on YouTube were bad-mouthing me. Just like that. Just like that. Oh, what a shocker. Honestly, wow. That doesn't happen often, does it? I'm being sarcastic. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. Apparently last night I got accused of stalking someone. I was like, fucking hell. That's a bit much. I don't accuse anyone. I don't stalk anyone, thank you very much. And, you know, I do find it personal insult when people say that I do things that I don't do. You know, I don't know about you, how you handle being accused of something that you don't do. But I find it, I actually take it quite personally. It's like quite upsetting, to be fair. I get upset. It does actually affect my spirit, man. It knocks my confidence, you know what I mean? Being accused of something that I don't do. And And it's usually by the people who actually do what they accuse me of doing to them that they actually do to me. It's a strange circumstance that I find myself in. But I do feel as if it's incumbent upon me to defend my character, because ultimately my character is all I've got, and I love my character. I love me. I don't know about you, but I feel as if I'm worth defending. I am worth fighting for. And it's not only for my benefit. It's that I've got people around me who depend on me. I'm a father. I've got children who depend on me. I've got a magical imaginary girlfriend who depends on me. She depends on me to be here when she rings in and when she wants to tell me about a wonderful day she had yesterday. She depends on me making time for her. I've got other friends in my life who depend on me for being there for them. And that's important. It makes me feel good being there for other people. And so when my reputation gets pulled through the mud, I feel obliged to defend myself. And that's exactly why I go live, essentially, is to defend myself. Because you all know, and that's what keeps me going, essentially. You all know what the score is. You all know what the truth is, because you can see it. It's blatant. It's in your face. It's slapping you back and forth. You know what the truth is. But to protect your own hides, you keep silent and you let the lies say their lies. Because you know in the back of your head, if you start calling out the lies, which are so blatantly said in front of you, you'll be in the firing line. And nobody wants to be in the firing line, do they? No. No one wants to be shot at. It's terrifying. It's humiliating. No. You want to hide behind the safe barriers. And the only way not to be in the firing line is to join in with everybody else, pointing and going, it's him, it's him. That's what you're doing. But that's your choice. We've all got choices. The title of the show is Another Day to Make It Right. Another day to put the sins of yesterday behind you. Another day to put the mistakes of yesterday behind you. Another day to make it right. To say, I can see the lies. That is a lie. Already we got Mong coming in, saying he knows very well that what he's doing is lying about me. But it's easier to lie about me than to point out the blatant truth. Because by pointing out the blatant truth, it puts you into the firing line. And nobody wants to do that, do they? Over to the chat. Claus. Thank you, Claus, for coming in. I hear Mr. James Barnatic has taken you to court now too. Really? Wow. You hear a lot of stuff, don't you? Don't you? And this is an article. I may as well read it out to you. It's actually available at Guerrilla Democracy News, my leading blog. And what I wrote, let's be honest. What AI wrote for me is that being deprived the right of reply can have significant and far-reaching consequences. When one person is allowed to make claims or statements about another without the ability to respond, it can lead to a profound imbalance of power and a violation of a fundamental human rights. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. The silencing of voices. At its core, the denial of the right of reply silences the voice of the individual being discussed or being accused. They are effectively prevented from presenting their side of the story, clarifying any misunderstandings, or refuting false allegations. This can be particularly damaging in situations where the individual's reputation, livelihood, or personal relationships are at stake. I'll put the link in the chat room for you so you can read it at your pleasure and leisure. So listen, you are going to hear a load of dross about me. And you can bet your bottom dollar it'll all be complete and utter rubbish and misinformation. I've put myself out there. If you want to know anything, contact me. The one thing I like about Jack, you may know him as Convard. He took the time to come down and meet me in person. And it's only when you meet someone in person can you look into their eyes, can you look into their soul. And that's how you ultimately judge a person. So until that time, you come and meet me, you look at me in the eye, and we have a conversation. Until that time, all you hear about me is complete and utter dross. It's misinformation. It's bullshit. It's not worth anything. It's toilet paper. It's spooled toilet paper at worst. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this last hour. I certainly have. It was in the news the other day. Our ice cream man was found lying on the floor of his van, covered with hundreds of thousands. Please say he topped himself. Just like that. It was just like that. I was standing at a party the other night, and across the room was an attractive woman. I looked at her and cocked my eye. She looked at me and cocked her eye back. And there we stood, cockeyed. Just like that it was. Just like that. I went to a really energetic seafood disco last week. And I pulled a muscle. Just like that it was. Just like that. Hello, Jack. Oh, thank you, Jack. Yes, we don't know whether it's the real Jack, but we'll just have to take our word for it. Thank you for everyone contributing today. Jack, Claus, Ricky, and Skips. Jack, Claus, Ricky, and Skips. And of course, how could I forget a viewer? First one in the chat. Hope you've enjoyed all my Tommy Cooper jokes. I've certainly enjoyed reminiscing about the good old times. What a man. What a man, Jack. No, well, Jack is a great man, yes, I must admit. What a man Tommy Cooper was. Yeah. I'm going back to Jack. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's how you get a measure of a man, isn't it? By being able to look him in the eye. And of course, as we all know, the eyes are the window into the soul. And so I don't particularly rate anyone who forms an opinion of me based on what you hear on YouTube. Because what does that say about you? For me, it says you're shallow as fuck. You're shallow. You're weak-minded. And so many of you make an opinion of me based on the dross you hear from idiots speaking about me. Now, I'm sure there was something that happened last night that was worthy of discussion, but honestly, for the life of me, I cannot remember what it is. I'm too interested in looking at the beautiful woman standing in front of a car on the screen at the moment. I get easily distracted, just like that. Was just like that. But obviously it's irrelevant. Obviously it means nothing because I woke up in the morning, forgot totally all about it. So it couldn't have been that important, could it? We're coming to the last 5 minutes, everyone. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. Matt Taylor TV. I'm your host, Matt Taylor. Broadcasting live from Brighton. Be right on in Brighton. If you haven't visited Brighton already, please do so. It is a wonderful place to visit. Any season is perfect. Be it the spring, summer, autumn, or winter, there is always something to do. And of course, Brighton has got the reputation of the dirty weekend away. So if you are minded to have an affair, what better place to come and to facilitate that affair than Brighton? It's the premier seaside resort, don't you know? Great show, way to go, says Bulldog. Thank you ever so much, Bulldog, Blackadder or Birdway. One thing I want to leave you all with is that Chris Spivvy's back. If you're not familiar with Chris Spivvy, check him out, ChristopherSpivvy.co.uk. The link is in the chat. Thanks ever so much, Blackadder, for saying it's a great show. Hey, listen. My aim is just to entertain you. And if I can educate you along the way, that's even better. That's a double whammy. Educate, entertain, give you a little tickle. We all love a tickle. And what I mean by the tickle is these great graphics. Hey, man, what is better than looking at beautiful women frolicking on a beach? Why do you think I live in Brighton? Birdway. Not Birdway. Hey, look, mate, I have trouble anything above 3 letters. Don't have a go at me. So, seems though I've got a bit of a COVID at the moment. Got a bit of a COVID coming on. It happens. Or it could be bird flu. Talking about bird walk, it could be bird flu. This could be my last show. You never know. Either way, we're coming up to the last 2 minutes. Now, in the last 2 minutes, I do feel as if we can fit in a history lesson. So the history lesson of today is, not only didn't Jesus Christ die on the crucifixion, he actually survived it, came to South Wales, but King Arthur was a real historical figure. Yeah. Can you not read? No, I cannot read. Okay? I cannot read. Give me a break. In the last minute. B-Y-R-D, bird. I don't well, how am I supposed to pronounce it? Come on, I don't fucking know. Give me a break. Can you not read? No, I cannot read. I'm a simpleton. Just like that. It was just like that. I became a simpleton. I don't give a flying fuck. What are you on about? I'm unusual. Unusual people are allowed not to read. You nutter. Anyway, we're coming up to the end. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will play out with a promotional video. Oh, just leave it. Just leave it, mate. Just leave it, mate. This is the promotional video. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Till the next time. Remember, King Arthur loves you as much as I do. Maybe simple for you, mate. Maybe simple like you. And I am simple. I'm unusual and simple. Oh, it does my head in these computers. feel as if I've ruined the show now by not pronouncing bird. Ruined it. Humiliated myself. Only I could read like other people.